I just think the Marie's Notes song should be skeet diddly diddly diddly.
Skeet diddly diddly.
We can't have a late to the game without a skeet diddly diddly diddly.
You can. You could have a skeet to delete, and you could also have a diddly, but you can't have the whole thing without it. You can't be missing both pieces.
From movies to video games, welcome back to Marie Plays It All. Today's episode is Late to the Game with... I don't have any more nicknames for you, Daniel. I don't have any more.
Danimal.
Danimal, yeah, but also there's like... Everyone says like Daniel the manual. What the manual?
A manual. Like you open it up and you know how to do things.
But it's spelled like manual, like Daniel but with an M.
Oh, yeah.
What is...
Yeah.
What is that?
You know what? If anyone's going to call me that, I prefer Daniel the Baniel.
Zaniel with a Z.
With a Z.
I don't know why. It's hard.
Zaniel. I'll take that. Zorro.
Zelda. Zelda's a girl.
Yeah. You know, it took me many years to realize that when I was a kid. Everybody always thinks Zelda's the guy that you are. Like, why did they name the video game franchise after her?
Isn't he trying to rescue her? You know, I've never played a Zelda
but...
game in my life.
So when I was telling you I was playing this last one, you're just like, cool. But you don't really realize how intense it was. And I was ripping a sword out of a dragon's forehead. You didn't even know that. I did. In midair.
You know, you played some that I haven't played, and I've played a billion that you haven't played. So we could do a Late to the Game where I make you play video games.
Oh, we could do that because Late to the Game doesn't have to just be video games. Because, I mean, the movies.
Are we just thinking about this now?
I don't know. Because then you could ask me questions about the video game. It's like, I don't know.
If anyone wants to see me force Daniel to play video games, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I have. I'm already thinking of some.
That's scary.
Okay, wait, we're getting off track. Oh yeah, okay. We're Daniel or Zaniel.
Zaniel. Let's go with Zaniel. I like that.
He forces me to watch popular movies, movies that are notoriously bad, excellent movies, a bunch of movies that I embarrassingly have not seen.
And here's the kicker. I surprise her with the movies. She has to answer a series of questions having not seen the movie, and we get to see how right or wrong she is. If she's seen the movie, she plays the Uno reverse card, and I had to be forced to watch the movie. It petrifies her because she doesn't know what movie. Every time she names a movie, I've already seen it. And then I double Uno reverso, which is a dos reverso.
No matter what we do in the show, I'm always petrified. Just everyone know. Everyone know that I'm sweating and from places that shouldn't sweat, and I'm nervous and I'm nauseous the whole time we're doing this because I'm just like on the spot.
So you ready for the movie reveal? The name of this movie is Tales from the Crypt, Demon Night.
No. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to get this movie.
Here's a horror movie. You ready? You ready for this horror movie?
My heart is pounding. I'm so glad it's a horror movie. I'm so excited. Yes. I'm so excited. Okay.
All right. So, is that my microphone? Pop quiz, hot shot. You ready? What is the movie about?
Okay, so I know. Okay, so this is this is Tales from the Crypt, Night of the Demons, plural.
What is it? That is so wrong.
What did you say?
Tales from the Crypt, Demon Night.
Oh, Demon. So there's tons of demon movies. There's a movie called Demons, which I've never seen. There's a movie apparently called Night of the Demons that I'm making up right now. There's like, is there like Demon House? There's tons of demon movies. I don't know what this one's about. I'm guessing demons. I'm guessing, okay, Tales from the Crypt. So I'm guessing it's going to be like, have comedic undertones, really cheesy, some over the topness. I am guessing that this movie is about 4 kids. I'm just talking with Stranger Things, I guess. Like I just in my head. I imagine it in the 80s, and I imagine there being 4 kids, and I imagine that they're like really into comic books and they're really big comic book nerds. I think that there's going to be this plague of demons that somehow come up. I need to figure that out yet. They're coming out of hell somehow, and they're kind of like zombie-esque in a way where they can infect people to make them demons too. Like if they get at you, then you become like, if your blood gets tainted by demon blood, then you become a demon as well and like cursed to be damned forever. So I'm
like
thinking
zombies.
kind of like
or
zombies, but
vampires?
yeah,
Kind
it's
of.
a spooky thing, and that's what it is, spooky. So, and so that entails all those things. I don't know what I'm saying. So they're on their way to the comic book store,
Okay.
and they're gonna realize like the streets are all dead. It looks like it's like fall time, and there's like leaves blowing, and they're like, "Hey, where's everybody?" And of course, they're like all different kinds of kids. Like there's a jock kid, a nerd kid. They're all bond over these comic books. Okay, so they're going to the comic book store, and then when they go there, they go to open the door, and it's open, and there's no one there. And then they find the comic book guy in the back, and he's like all eat like
Mangled.
bit and mangled and like torn apart, like there's intestines coming out. But then he starts
Ooh.
coming back to life. And they're like, Randy, what the heck? And then he's like, "Ugh," and then he gets up, and then that's when the kids realize it, and it's just them trying to evade all the demons in the town and try to. Oh, they also have to try to find a cure of some sort to like bring peace back to civilization.
Of course. So why do you think it's called Demon Night?
Because it's the night that they're trying to. It all takes place in one day. The whole movie's one day,
Mm.
from
Hmm.
the morning to the night, and it's mostly probably the
Mm.
night. And they're all trying to figure out how to basically save humanity. These four plucky kids and this little band of misfits, and they're just trying to save the world. And it's all takes place in one night, Night of the Demons.
Demon Night.
I know.
Who plays the collector?
But dancing. Throwback.
Holla. Okay. Where are the cast of characters housed?
Oh, initially I was thinking a comic book store, but I think they're
Okay.
eventually going to have to get to this like abandoned church, which is where the demons all spawned from.
Naturally.
Yeah, because the church, okay, is abandoned and no one goes there anymore because the church initially was a front for Satanists. And like it's
Mm.
actually the church of like Satan, but it was like making themselves look like they were like Catholic, and they were, they weren't. They're really getting this portal over time for the demons to come out. Okay.
Giant gaping holes for these demons, but they all
Yep.
spawn right out of. Perfect.
You betcha.
Okay, I like that. Why are they stuck in this abandoned place, this abandoned church?
They need to figure out how to close this portal in the church. And
Mm,
oh,
that's why they're there.
maybe because they don't want to let more demons out. So they are like basically being like, no, we're going to be stuck in here with these demons, and we're going to take care of this, and they're going to do it. And they're like not letting any more out because these kids are noble as and they like, we're not going to let anything happen to, anybody else in this town. We're going to board it up, and we're going to seal it, and they're going to make all these traps for these demons. They're purposely trapping themselves in this church because they don't want anything else to get released into the town.
The blood was made on set by what? How was it made?
So they mix Kool-Aid and Jello together because they wanted to give it a little bit of a gelatinous thing. People don't know this, but for a couple years there was a shortage of like pink flamingo Kool-Aid because they use it all for this movie. Just like there was a
Clearly.
shortage on there's a shortage for pink paint for the Barbie movie. They ran
Hmm.
out of pink flamingo freaking is that even a Kool-Aid flavor?
Flamingo? I don't remember them ever using animals. Like, oh yeah, let me get a box of the tiger. The tiger's blood. It's just cinnamon flavor.
Ooh, it would be caliente.
In this movie, when you watch towards the end, they tease a follow-up. What is the title of the movie that they tease?
People don't know this, but this is actually the
Even
prequel
the
to Dawn.
filmmakers didn't know this.
Only I know this. That
Yes.
Demon Knight is a prequel to Dawn of the Dead.
That makes sense. So George Romero saw this and said, I need to make this.
Yeah.
The studio wanted to cast who in the role of Jerry Line?
Jerry Line,
That's a character name.
Eddie Murphy.
Okay. I like it. All right.
Okay.
But the director convinced them to cast who instead?
Wesley Snipes.
Okay. You have a very specific look for this character. I see. All right. Fair enough. Makes
Jerry
sense.
Line. I don't know. It sounds like
Yeah. Like a soul singer or jazz singer performer.
does. It
Yeah,
does.
it
Jerry
does.
Line.
Jerry Line. All right. When in the attic with Willie, Danny is seen doing what?
Okay, Willie catches Danny, ringing the church bell to
Mhm,
attract the demons who are out on the outskirts of town
mm,
to come get the kids because Danny's bad. Danny's actually in on it.
So he's part demon, or he just wants the kids because he doesn't like them, wants them to get eaten.
He's like part of the Satan group who wants to take over the world because the demons don't eat the Satan group because the
Damn it, Danny. Give my people a bad name. How many collectors are depicted in this film?
Ted Danson's just like one of them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There are 6 collectors and they collect the souls of the people who the demons are going to get. So when the demon gets you, like tears you up, their soul comes out, and these collectors come and they take your soul and they take them. And when they take your soul, their
Mm-hmm.
eyes turn all like white and like dead, and they like do this crazy thing with their mouth opens like super wide, like their jaw disjoints. They look really scary, and they like basically inhale their soul into them. Oh god, that's scary.
It's like a rattlesnake.
Sure, let's go with that. But that's what like how like his mouths open like all big and they look all weird and they sucks in, the eyes are
Yes.
all white, and they stand there and then they're standing there. And but then that
Ooh,
is
there's a
when
then.
that's what leaves them vulnerable because they're in like a trance type state when that happens. So that's actually their most vulnerable time to get the collectors and to kill them because they're like distracted absorbing the souls.
So you throw a gum in their mouth?
You take like a Catholic like host, like the little bread of Christ, bread
Mm.
of Christ, body of Christ, and you chuck it in there. It's like
You just and the little kids, of course, could probably use some kind of like
slingshot,
there you go.
a slingshot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, we're writing a movie, Dana. We're writing a movie. See, this
The
is
Night of the Demons.
yeah.
Tales from
Yes.
the Crypt, The Night of the Demons. A little thing for you here. It's Demon Night, but it's not Night. It's Knight.
Oh my God. Really? Okay, this changes everything.
Too late, 'cause we already recorded it. Let's get into these demons and let's open up that gaping hole in the ground. We have to be super intense when we do the second half of the episode. We appreciate you watching another episode of Marie Plays It All, Late to the Game.
It makes us extremely happy and filled with joy that you watch our episodes.
Please hit subscribe, like, share, comment. All how much fun we're all having together. We are back
From the Night of the Demons.
from the Night of the Demons. And the whole time you're sitting there like, okay, Demon Night. So it's the Night of the Demons. And then afterwards it's like, oh, it's Knight.
I know. I still isn't what I thought it was going to be. Like when you said it's KNI, I was like, oh God. What I had envisioned in my brain was
Was a
like
demon.
Army of Darkness, like knight, like a big knight demon guy, like in a knight suit. And I was like, okay, here we go. But then no, it
Mm-hmm.
was like he was the knight of the demons, I guess, but there was no armor,
None.
thankfully.
Yeah,
None.
exactly. What is the movie about?
The movie is about this like night demon, like he's the head, well, kind of like a head honcho of the demons, and he's trying to find this guy who's like there's like evil and the good, and I don't know what this guy is, but the breaker guy is, he's just some like been like anointed, passed down from generations to be the protector of the blood of Christ, basically,
A
and to
knight?
protect okay, he's the knight. Anyway, he's protecting and for these demons that come, and this is very awful way to explain things. Anyway, and then they meet, and the bad guy's trying to get the blood of Christ, and then he's trying to keep the blood of Christ and send like the demons and everything away, and the demons start coming, and then he's trapped in a church, which I said, okay,
Boink. Got a point.
somehow. Um, and then they had to try to survive. Then the good guys also like basically has to anoint another person to be the carrier of the blood of Christ to protect the earth, basically.
Yeah.
You can say it more eloquently, Daniel, please.
No, that works. I like it. Because this is Marie explains it all.
And not well.
We never said it was well. We just said this is the version that Marie explains things in the movies. And this kind of gives you a preview and an insight on how Marie's brain works. So if you think it's disjointed the way she's explaining it, imagine how she thinks about things. And this is how she pulls from things. Now you get an idea. This is what the show's about.
Try living in here for a day. Okay, I give you guys 5 minutes. You'll be like, look, that's crazy. There's like all these thoughts coming in from everywhere, and then here's being like all these thoughts and feelings, and they're trying to coincide and they can't.
Have you heard about that room that's so silent? It's so deadly quiet that they say that when people go in there, they can't stay there for an entire 24 hours. They end up going insane. Like they go crazy and they start banging. They got to get out because you can actually hear your blood pumping and everything like that. Like sound is so taken out of this room. So for your brain, it's like the opposite. There's just so much. It's almost like you're in New York and you're standing in Times Square in the middle of the street and cars are just honking at you and they're coming all over the place. They're coming from Fifth Street and they're coming from West Side.
So it's like, you want to go in that room, don't you, Daniel? Do you want to go in that room? You want to try it out?
1,000% I do. Because I don't think I would go insane. They say people will go crazy and they can't be in there for that long, but it's like I would want to try it to sit there and sit in absolute silence and just hear your heart pumping. Like, well, there's sound there. What if you just go there and you had to like the nastiest fart? Not only would you have perfect pitch sound, but you're just hotboxing yourself in there. If there's no sound, it means there's no air ventilation.
You're reverberating. It's like,
yeah. And everybody just looks at you and say, it wasn't me.
It was the dog.
It was the dog. Yeah. All right. So we got what the movie's about. Who plays the collector?
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane.
Love me some Billy Zane, who I met in person, by the way.
When he came on the screen, I actually went, Billy Zane, out loud.
Did you? Billy Zane. Every time you say Billy Zane, though, it feels like you got two guns that you're just firing to the street like Yosemite Sam, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane. Yeah.
He's such a perfect like asshole. He plays such a great villain, doesn't he? And everything.
Well, yeah, and he looks like an asshole. Like sorry, Billy Zane, but you have that look, and it gets you casted probably in a lot of things because you look like a dick.
Let's just say he was a complete dick to Chuck when we met him. He was nice to me, but Chuck touched him and he's like, "Don't touch me." He said that to Chuck. Don't touch me. Billy Zane. And when I walked away, I kind of did a little, pat him on the back, and it's fine. Where are the cast of characters housed?
In a church. It was so funny because they're like, oh, this is the church. And they're driving up or walking up the church. I'm like, that's a church? Like, it looked like this creepy ass warehouse. It's like, oh, I used to be the church. And I'm like, and see, I even was right because I was like, it used to be a church, but now it's like condemned. It's not condemned right now. But that thing did not look like a church.
No, it was an airport hangar. So they did it there so that way they're able to film during the day as well. And they're able to shorten the time that they filmed this movie. Why were they housed in the church?
They were housed in the church because Billy Zane basically condemned the land around with his green ass blood, and they were stuck in there, and then the demons were trying to get in there, and then they had all the blood of Christ protecting all the entries.
And the blood was made on set by what? The green blood. You know?
You tell me.
Glow sticks.
Oh, that shit's dangerous.
4 different zombie actors or the demon actors got cancer when they're on set.
No, they didn't.
No, they could have. I don't know, but not as a result of the movie. That's just because they were, cigarette addicts. But they tease a follow-up to the movie at the closing credits. What's that title?
Did they show a title?
After the closing credits, did you finish watching the movie?
I didn't watch the closing after the closing credits.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, I'm gonna go to it right now. I forgot to mention that when they opened up with "Hey Man, nice shot" by Filter, I was like, yes, get it. Give me that filter right now. I love that song.
Yep.
Okay, Dead Easy is what it said.
Yep,
Dead
exactly.
Easy.
So I have some stuff for you. So at the end, they announced this forthcoming feature will be called Dead Easy, and it was supposed to be like a trilogy of sorts. So not necessarily connected to this one, but like 3 standalone movies, but it would be a 3-part series. It says a Tales from the Crypt theatrical trilogy, Dead Easy, aka Fat Tuesday, I guess was a zombie story set in New Orleans, but it was eventually abandoned, and the 3rd film, Body Count, also went unproduced. But they ultimately did a trilogy completed where the next one was Bordello of Blood and another one called Ritual. So they just pivoted. The studio wanted to cast who in the role of Jayla?
Okay, first of all, I thought you were saying Jerry Line, like 2 words, like a first name and last name. So I thought it was a man named Jerry Line, like Jerry Line, not Geraldine or Geraldine.
Jerry, you're the reason for the word, bitch. Hey, Jerry. Okay. Who do they originally want casted in it?
I don't know who was it originally.
Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, okay, they went up eight.
Yeah,
Okay.
way different. But the director convinced them to cast who instead?
Jada Pinkett.
Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. Pow! Okay, when in the attic with Willie, Danny is seen doing what?
Reading his comic book? Is that what he's
Yep,
doing?
reading Tales from the Crypt comic
Yeah,
books.
Tales from the Crypt. I know, I love that. I
Ooh,
was like, oh, this is good. I
shout
like that
out.
they put that in there. Yep.
And then every other part of that scene you hated.
I didn't hate it. You know what? We'll touch on that.
How many collectors are depicted in this film?
There's 2 from the flashback from the Christ
Mm-hmm.
crucifixion, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's Billy Zane, and then
Billy
there's the guy at the
Zane.
end.
Yep,
And the guy at the
4.
end.
And what are they collecting?
That key that contains all the blood of the
Blood of
people
Christ.
and blood of Christ.
Mm-hmm. Now let's hear some fun facts.
Mm.
Okay, so they were filming there at an airport, like I told you, like a hangar, and
Mm.
birds had nested in the rafters on the set, which caused audio problems. So before each take, the crew would shoot off a blank gunshot to startle and quiet the animals. So before each take, so think about how annoying that is. And then just being
Oh
a
yeah.
crew member or cast on set, and you're just like, you gotta sit there and wait before you can do it. And then Demon Knight was a script that had been circulating in Hollywood for a number of years. Although it wasn't adapted from EC Comics and lacked the standard morality play, the producers decided it had the right mixture of horror and humor to be produced as a Tales from the Crypt spin-off movie.
100% yes.
Yes. So that's
Yes.
it. Those are my fun facts. So let's get into what your thoughts
Oh,
were. Let's get into it.
Marie's notes. Marie's notes. Jazz
Marie's
hands.
notes.
Marie's notes.
Marie's notes.
That fist through the face was awesome. I
Yes, it
loved that.
was. Ah,
Through the face, and he's
mm-hmm.
stuck in the mouth. I was just like, that is so good. I loved it. I love that.
Loved it. Loved it too.
Okay, first of all, again, I was right with the demons coming out of the ground. I mean, that's pretty obvious. That's where they would ascend from. But anyway, they looked so cool when they were being like born out of the bloody goo. They looked awesome. I was like, ooh, yeah, get it. And then they started like coming these weird, like almost looked like tribal for some reason. And I loved it. I was like, yeah, do it.
It did, and it lets you know, even the tribal thing. It lets you know how ancient they are. Essentially, it almost felt like with this movie was the fact that it's Tales from the Crypt and all that. You know, it has like a cheesiness and all this stuff to it, but there was some stuff to this movie where it's like, this is a lot better than it should have been, right? Like those demons, like this is way better than it should have been. This is actually pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I was like, this looks pretty awesome. Like, this is pretty, yeah, it looks
Yeah.
good. So many of the things look good. Like all like the blood and the guts and the deaths and the
Mm-hmm.
demon face. And again, we saw some dislocating jaws. We saw some mouths opening up big and then revealing more demon head. Okay, and then I said I was kind of right about them being stuck in the church and demons rising from the ground. And
Mm-hmm.
then I said, okay, was not expecting this Jesus crucifixion time scene. I was not expecting the depth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Like I wasn't expecting like some like flashbacks of like Jesus times and like being so in and like that. I'm like, that's the blood of Christ in there. This is deep. Shit gets deep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like way better than I thought it was gonna be. This is deeper.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I was expecting something to be like really super cheesy, bad, awful, but I actually was
Mm-hmm.
it was engaging the whole time. I was entertained. I was like, "Oh shit." Like I was trying to like make breakfast while I was watching it and then but I kept having to stop because I was like, I don't want to look away from the screen. I want to see
Yeah.
what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Actually yelling, "Oh shit," when the demon ripped her arm off.
Gruesome. I love gruesome,
Crazy.
man. This movie had a lot of that epiphany of what I see as like really good slasher 80s. Like this is what I like the deaths to be like this, like the gruesome. Like, oh shit, where you get surprised, like, oh damn. It's so exciting to me. It's I love it. That's how they should be. That's how some horror, this type of genre of horror movies needs to be like that. Stop it with the
Mhm.
jump scares. Hit me with the gruesomeness. That's what I like to see.
There's something about over the top gore that makes my insides vibrate with glee. I don't know what it is, but that's also why I love the Evil Dead remake so much because I'm like, because it's like it's so
Mm-hmm.
gory and it gets so graphic, and I'm just
Yes.
like, this is
Love
amazing.
it.
Yeah, bitch, tear your face off, tear it, cut your
Yes.
tongue in half.
Yes.
Let's go.
I love it because even like they show the build up to it, right? Even with the Evil Dead, you see her and like she's gonna do it. You're like, oh, don't. And then you see it's like, oh, you are. Like your whole building it up is the whole Hitchcock method of like show it,
Mhm.
let the audience take it in, and then you actually see it, and it's like, oh yes.
I prefer seeing like really graphic gore and guts and blood and stuff like that. If it's like a little bit on the silly side,
Yeah.
it's mixing the dark gruesomeness and the gore and the death with like a lightheartedness, like something that's light. And I love when they take something that has a little bit more of a light atmosphere and just throw some like gross shit in it. Because I like the yin and yang. I like the both. I love having then they both come together. If it's just strictly dark, like Hereditary, I mean, it's strictly dark, but it doesn't go too great. Well, I mean, it gets pretty gory, but for some reason I like it. But if
Mm-hmm.
but I like it, but I like both movies like this when it has this like lighter atmosphere and you feel like comfortable in it. And because you feel comfortable, it's I for me personally, I'm like more accepting of the gore because I'm like, you already got me in a cozy state. So I'm comfortable with what you're showing me because it's supposed to be over the top. I don't know if that makes any
Mm-hmm.
sense.
It does. And it helps when you cast Billy Zane.
Really, Zane always helps.
Yeah, it does.
I loved the scenes with Billy Zane um, peeling to the people's weaknesses and insecurities like as visions. It's like because like that's what like the devil would do. Not that I know how the devil would act, but it's all about like temptation and everything, and that and when they prey on like your weaknesses, that's what's gonna get you to go to them because like and the empty promises and you're like this makes me feel good like when he's tempting that like prostitute girl I was like this is yeah I'm like this is perfect and then it shows like the movements of his hand when he's down there and she can feel it. I was like, this is so good. And I loved Gerline's scene the most. I thought that was actually pretty artistically done, like with her face and in the back, you can see like the demons coming through and then it coming through her eyes and the blood. I was like, this is amazing. Like I loved it. I loved that. I loved all those scenes. Could have done without the copious amounts of titties for Uncle Willie, but I understand why they were there. I guess they served a purpose. I mean, a little bit of a bikini top doesn't hurt anybody. It would still have the same effect without all the nipples. But not that I'm a prude. I'm just like it's like enough already sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
but I really like that like the Billy Zane demon like took everyone's insecurities and tried to manipulate them that way. Because I felt like I
Mhm.
like I say, I don't know how the devil works, but I feel like that's pretty realistic.
It is, and it goes deeper beyond just demons trying to get you and eat you.
Yes.
There's, you know what I'm saying? Like you now have characters. You have flushed out characters where you show a
Hmm.
want, a need, a fear. So from a writing perspective, there's deeper meaning behind this. And I remember watching this movie when I was like 7, 8. Like I've been watching this movie for a long time. And I remember even thinking then, this is deep. Like I liked it though. So that's when I was ready. I'm telling you, I've been watching far too many R-rated movies when I was far too young, but that's fine. That's neither here nor there. I ended up okay. Eh, questionable. Okay for my standards. But no, this movie went deeper on this stuff, and you can get an idea of, when you watch Nightmare on Elm Street, let's say, right? And you have, the shirt that you're wearing, as you have Freddy. Um, that's why there's certain Nightmare on Elm Street movies that are better than others because you
Mm,
fleshed out characters more. That's why
yeah.
Dream Warriors was so good. Then you have some sloppy Nightmare on Elm Street movies where it was very surface level characters and it was him just killing them, but not
Hmm.
any particular reason why he killed them in the way that he killed them. So that's how you get
Right.
a key difference on the writing when it pertains to that. When you get
Hmm.
something like Friday the 13th, for instance, there's no Jason's not trying to understand the characters to kill them in certain ways. It's just I'm
Yeah.
going to kill them in whatever's convenient and I can grab them right now and I'm going to kill them that way. Not that there's wrong with anything like that. It's just a different form of doing horror. When you get movies like this, it goes deeper beyond that and you don't get a ton of horror movies that do this. So the fact that they
No.
did this, you're now unique and it's different, and that's what I enjoyed.
I must say, Daniel, I was not expecting any sort of depth. I was not expecting any sort of, oh damn. I was not expecting any sort of like actual religious aspects, like, heaven and hell, like all like in the movie about demons, it would have to exist. But I
Mm,
wasn't expecting anything to do with actually Jesus or like Bible or anything like that. I was not expecting that.
hmm
I definitely was not expecting mental manipulation from a demon preying on victims to basically give him their souls. Like you say, I thought it was gonna be like just demons tearing people apart.
This was Billy Zane's favorite performance that he's done, like his favorite movie that he's been in. His favorite performance. He loved playing this character.
I loved it so much when he would get all hillbilly and mimic the hillbillies. Like when he first does it outside when he's about to like spread his blood all around.
Hmm
And he's like acting. I'm like, that's good acting. I love that. Like when he's mocking the hillbilliness. Billy Zane.
Billy
That was
Zane.
good.
Yeah, he's good. And that's what I like about Billy Zane because he's unfairly given kind of like a cheap actor feel. For some
Mhm.
reason, some people feel that way. Now, I don't think he is at all. Like, I mean, James freaking Cameron casted him in Titanic as the douchebag bad
Mhm.
guy. Like, the dude can act. Like, he can act. And I'm a fan of Billy Zane. So when I see him, I like it because I haven't seen a bad performance by him. Now, he was in a movie called The Phantom, which was not good. He's been in some, not necessarily good movies, but it's not because of lack of him of his performance. I feel like he can help elevate certain roles. He like that no one else can play it the way that he did. So this
Mm.
role is specific to that. It's my favorite performance that he's done. And I don't think anyone could have played it the way that he played it. And though, like you
Mhm.
said, doing that whole hillbilly kind of mocking them, he just slipped right into it so well. And there's a
Yeah.
charisma to him, isn't there? That certain charm to him, that je ne sais quoi, like that little side smirky asshole smile that he has. You can't help but like him. So that's why when I met him in person, he kind of had the same thing with, I'm like, dude, Billy Zane, man. Like, I love you, Billy Zane. You just got this little swag to you. Like, awesome, man.
It was so weird because he's playing it so cool in the beginning of the movie because he's, trying to convince people that he's the good one. And
Hmm
deep down, you're like, you're the bad one, Billy Zane. I can tell.
Just the
No one
fact that it's
dresses
Billy
like that.
Zane. You're never a good guy in
That's
anything.
that too.
Yeah.
But then once he finally like kind of reveals that he's like this powerful demon guy after the punch in the face, through the face. And then when he goes outside, then it's like, okay, I'm gonna release my demon. And that's when he breaks into character, like mocking them. And I'm like, oh, it was just like this slip that he did where he wasn't trying to play cool anymore. He's like finally revealing like that he's like this, like who he really is. And it was like it caught me off guard. I'm like, look at him mocking these people now all of a sudden. What? But he did so well. I was like, God damn. Okay, Billy
Yeah.
Zane, I see you now.
I see you. I'll see
See you.
you. Yeah. Any other notes?
That was it. I was just
Okay.
really impressed by a lot of the practical effects and everything. And
Hmm
what I wasn't expecting the depth.
All right. So here's the age-old question. Are you gonna play it back? Are you gonna rage quit it?
I really, really didn't know it. In the beginning, I'm like, damn, is this gonna be one that I'm actually gonna rage quit? Is it? This might be. Is this heavyweights but in horror? No, no, I'm playing this back. I'll play it back. Hell yeah, I'm gonna play
Yeah.
this back. I liked
Yeah.
it.
Good, good. I'm glad. I'm glad you liked it. I'm telling you, most of the movies, I can't have every movie be a play it back. So there has to be a heavyweights in it. There has to be movies that I give you sometimes where you're like, ugh. You know what I mean? I'm just surprised outside of heavyweights, every other movie has been a play it back. So, and if you've noticed, most of the movies I've recommended to you have character depth to some extent, right?
Mm.
Every movie you've been pretty much watching is like, oh, this movie's a little deeper than I thought it was. Like, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Nothing can compare to the character depth of The Room, though. Like, you need
Yes.
to step it up and you need to, yeah, give me something to elevate, like, that is, like,
Yeah.
better than The Room, please.
Can you imagine if Tommy Wiseau played the Billy Zane character? Oh my God. Oh my God. This would have been so good too. I would have loved to see Demon Knight starring Tommy Wiseau. Please, Hollywood, please cast him in some other stuff. Like, give him his own web series. Like, or not even necessarily web series. Okay. I want to see this thing on HBO Max. Give us a mini series of like seasons, not even a mini series. Don't end it, okay? Give us shows where he's maybe doing a scene or two or a collection of scenes of like famous movies, and
Yeah.
they're reenacting these scenes, but it's him casted in roles.
Okay, if you're watching this, Tommy Wiseau, if you're watching, please make it happen. Just find some more millions somehow with however you're getting your money. Just please make it happen.
Hit us up and we'll produce it on the Nas team. we'll
Yes.
even we'll even premiere it here on our Nas channel, Tommy Wiseau.
Thank you for watching another episode of Replays It All. This was late to the game with because now you're Zaniel, but then it's like I want to call you like something like how can I like
Danny Zane. Danny
Danny
Zane.
Zane.
Pow!
You can find more of our content on our YouTube channel, Not a Strong Start. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Not a Strong Start. You can listen to us anywhere you listen to your podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share and comment all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you can follow me on Instagram at Marie Plays It All.
And you can follow me at King_Sangre.
Never stop playing. Never stop Billy Zaning. Never stop.
Whenever in doubt, what would Billy Zane do? Right? If we can all live our lives like a Billy Zane impersonation, life would be so much more joyous. It would end poverty. It would end any forms of racism. Like it would bridge all nations together if we all just acted like Billy Zane.
Be more like Billy. Guns a-blazing.
Bitch, get out the room!